Okay, question number 34 is asking you to compare these guys, these two, and see which one is larger. So you're going to put the one that's larger on the line here. Now, we kind of have apples and oranges, and you can't really compare apples with oranges here. We have two different types of units. We have kilometers and meters. So we need to change them both so they're both the same. So we're comparing just apples or just oranges, and not kilometers and meters, either both kilometers or both meters. So what we're going to do is, I'll pick the, you can pick your favorite unit, it doesn't matter which one you want to convert to, but I'll try to convert kilometers over to meters, and then we'll just compare the base units. So I'm going to start a DA problem. I'm going to write 3.45 kilometers, and then I know that I have kilometers that I need to get rid of, so I immediately, without even thinking, I put that down here. Now I know kilometers are going to cancel out mathematically, and then I want to convert to meters, and since I know a conversion directly between kilometers and meters, I put the meter on top. If I didn't know a direct conversion, I'd have to do a couple more steps here. But I do know directly. I know, in fact, that there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So I put the correct number with the correct unit. The kilometers cancels out. 3.45 times 1,000. And that brings us to 3,450. So 3,450. And then I look at which one's larger. This one compared to this one is larger. Okay? We'll put the unit on there. Alright, the next one. I've got meters versus millimeters. So I want to compare and see which one's larger here. So I'm going to do a dimensional analysis problem. I can convert both to, how about I convert both to millimeters this time? So I'll start with meters, 0.0034 meters. And then I'm going to put meters down here. Without even thinking, I just write the m, because I know that meters are going to algebraically cancel out. I do know a conversion between meters and millimeters, so I'm going to put millimeters up here. And then I'm going to say that there's 1,000 of those little millimeters in 1 meter. So think about what makes sense. Think about a big meter stick. You know that there's 1,000 little lines, which are millimeters, in one of those big meter sticks. Not the other way around. There's not 1,000 meters in one little itty-bitty millimeter. So put the correct number with the correct unit. Then you do the math. Remember, multiply on top, divide through by anything on the bottom, and you end up multiplying by 1,000. So we're going to end up moving the decimal point 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So we get 3.4 millimeters. Okay? So that fraction of a meter is 3.4 millimeters. This one obviously is significantly bigger. Alright, let's do the next one. We got kiloliters versus milliliters. So let's convert them to kiloliters. So we've got milliliters here. So let's write down this ridiculous number. 930,830,000. That's a number I should have put in scientific notation. And I'm going to put the units here. Always have to write the units. Now I'm going to put milliliters down here because algebraically I want millimeters to cancel. I haven't even thought about the rest of the problem. I just know I want to get rid of milliliters. So I put mLs down here. Now I asked myself, do I know a relationship between mLs and KLs? And the answer for now is no. We're probably going to go from milliliters to liters, to the base unit. Then we'll go from liters to kiloliters. So I want to get rid of the milliliters, so they're going to cancel. Then I have liters. If I stop the problem right now, I'd have liters. I don't want that. I want kiloliters. So I'm going to get rid of liters. Put that down here. Then they're going to cancel. And then I have kiloliters up here. Okay? That's probably the simplest way to do it. And then just use some common sense. How many liters in a milliliter or milliliters in a liter? It would be easier to think of it this way. There's 1,000 little milliliters in a liter. You could have written that 1,000th of a liter is a milliliter, but this way is pretty easy. Then you have to ask yourself about these guys. What relationship do you know about kiloliters and liters? Well, you know that one big kiloliter is made up of 1,000 liters. So all of your units cancel out. We've put the appropriate number with the appropriate unit. And then the unit that we're going to be left with is KLs, which is good because we want to get to KLs. We want to convert mLs to KLs. So then you're going to take this big long number, multiply it by 1, which you don't really need to do, divide by 1,000, multiply by 1 because it's on top, divide by what's on the bottom, divide by 1,000. And when you do that, you're going to end up moving the decimal point 6 places over because you divide by 1,000. So move it 3, divide by another 1,000, move it another 3, and you get 930.83. So then we compare this one versus this number, and which one's bigger? This one. So that ridiculous number is equal to this many kiloliters. Those two are equal, and that is more than the first number given to us in our comparison here. And the last one, we got 965 centimeters or 9650 millimeters. So pick one and let's convert it to the other. I'll take centimeters and convert it to millimeters. So I'll just start with 965 centimeters. I want to get rid of centimeters, so without even thinking I put centimeters on the bottom because I know they're going to cancel out algebraically, and I'm going to end up converting to whatever I put up here. Now, do I know a relationship between centimeters and millimeters? You may. I'm going to do it the basic way, just go into the base unit first. So I'm going to put meters up here. Then if I stop the problem now, I'd end with meters. I don't want that, I want millimeters. So I'm going to get rid of meters by putting it down here, and then I'm going to put millimeters up here. So now meters cancels, and I have millimeters. So all my units are going to cancel except for millimeters, which is good because that's what I want, because I want to be able to compare. So I asked myself, what do I know? I know that one big meter is made up of 100 centimeters. I know there's 100 centimeters in one big meter stick, not the other way around. And then I asked myself, what do I know about millimeters and meters? Well, I know that there's 1,000 of those little guys, little tiny lines, in one big meter stick. So what I'm going to do for the math here is multiply by anything on top, divide by anything on the bottom. So 965 times 1 divided by 100 times 1,000 divided by 1, and I end up getting 9650 mm's, because that's the unit I'm left with. And then I make my comparison, and those two are the same thing, so I put they're even, or they're the same, or whatever you want to write. Okay? So whenever you have to make comparisons, set up a quick DA problem and convert so both units are the same thing, and then you can easily make your comparison. Okay, number 35 asks you to do some dimensional analysis problems. The first one asks you to convert 134.4 kilometers per hour to kilometers per second. So here we go. The first thing you do is write down what you know. You know that you have 134.4 kilometers, and then you never use a slash. Always put a straight line and then put 1 hour. Okay? That means you can go 134.4 kilometers in 1 hour. That's a relationship. So we're going to put a multiplication sign and then ask ourselves, what do we want to convert? Well, ultimately we want to end with kilometers per second. So it looks like the kilometers are going to stay the same, so we don't need to convert or get rid of kilometers, but we do need to change hours from hours to seconds. So that means in order to get hours to cancel, we're going to have to put hours up here, so then one's on top, one's on the bottom, and then they'll mathematically cancel out. So we can get rid of hours and convert it to minutes by writing 1 hour is 60 minutes. Now we have minutes. That's good. It's at least not hours, but it's still not seconds. So we have to get rid of minutes. So we're going to put minutes up here and then seconds down here, because we know a relationship between minutes and seconds. So hopefully you know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. And then you are left with the two units that you want. Kilometers on top, that never canceled out, and seconds on the bottom, which is what we want. So now to do the math. Remember, anything on top you're going to multiply, and anything on the bottom you divide. So 134.4 times 1 divided by 60, times 1 divided by 60, then hit the equal sign on your calculator. And when you do that, you should end up getting 0.03733, and then kilometers per second. You can basically put a 1 here if you'd like and say that's how many kilometers you can go in 1 second. So 0.0, this is a 3, I know it's not too neat here, 3733 kilometers per second. Okay, and I used 4 sig figs here. 3733's got 4 sig figs because my first number had 4 sig figs. Okay,